Hi everyone and welcome to Club 2 episode 21 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. So after the last couple of episodes of epic encounters in first the Champions League and then the Europa League, we now find ourselves in the Europa Conference League in the fourth qualifying round of that against Jerusalem, and that's going to be the double header of games for today. There are a few things going on behind the scenes that I will let you know about specifically in next episode, but you can see that we've not got a transfer budget anymore, but things are still changing all the time just because we've got a lot of players that I need to get off the books, as well as the ones that are coming in haven't quite been registered yet, etc. So we will introduce you to some of them next episode. The two that I will introduce you to now are the two that find themselves in the starting lineup. And firstly, it's Ricards, and he's going to be on the bench today, but he's a young striker, 15 finishing, good flair, decent off the ball, good teamwork, bravery's good. So there's some good attributes in there. And the second player that I need to introduce you to is Roger Wynne. He'll also be on the bench today. I've promoted him from my youth ranks. He's not the best player in the world, but he's got some really good attributes for a 17-year-old for that right-sided midfield area, which I've been struggling a little bit to find a good young replacement for Sarmento when Sarmento's out injured at all, and I think this guy will come in and do a job for us. The reason for both of those people coming into the side, or the squad should I say, and some of the others going out, is that I had forgotten to address the balance continually of needing under 19 players for the league. You've got to have at least a couple in your squad, I think 2 or 3 all the time in the Welsh Premier League. And I'd got a slight imbalance because a couple of my previous under-19s had grown older and therefore weren't counting anymore. So I had to figure that balance a little bit heading into the league campaign. The only other thing to tell you about before we get into today's game is that we've had one game already in the league and we won 2-0 against Bala Town. It was a reasonably good performance, nothing particularly special. Parry and Sarmento got the goals, but yeah, we did a good enough job and we got off to a winning start, which is really positive. So into today's game. As I say, you've seen a couple of the changes in terms of the personnel coming onto the bench. Pretty much the first 11 is as you would expect it though. So heading into this double header against Jerusalem in the Europa Conference thing, and me watch a flippy doodah. I can never remember what it's called. Euro Cup 2 or something. Anyway. The first team is fairly similar to what it usually is. So today it's going to be Fuller in goal, Nichols at right back, Owens at left back, Gardner and Bentker in central defence, Rogers, Hazel, Smith in central midfield, Sarmento on the right, Rowlands on the left, Busumbru up top. And Hope, Harden, Evans, Pritchard, Wynne, Fenlon and Ricards are on the bench. So let's get into the first of the 2 games against Jerusalem and see what happens. So no reaction to my team talk. All I did was suggest to them, say good luck guys, go out there and get a good upset win. They didn't seem to really care about that, but never mind. We're in our red, we're away from home at Jerusalem's ground, so that's going to give them the home advantage in this particular match, but hopefully we can come out not too far behind, if not a little bit better than that. It's really difficult to know how good Jerusalem are going to be. So a throw in for them down the left hand side, they send it back to their defenders and then chuck it straight over the top, and we lose the marker again in the defensive area. This time it was Owens in the left fullback position. Just let his guy go. Just go with them, for goodness sake. Cross comes in from the corner, but Fuller comes out and claims it. It's important he has a good game, isn't it? He's had some shaky performances. It's about time he started performing well. And Jerusalem down the left-hand side from the goal kick, it was well received, and they've made it into our penalty box, down the side of the penalty box. And the cross comes into the far post. Good looping header, but was it tipped over? No, I think he just went straight over, and the goalkeeper covered it, but didn't have to touch it. 34 minutes in, we've had a real big chunk of the game where nothing's happened, but now is an opportunity for us down the right hand side. Sends it in central to Hazel over the top. Sarmento has the run on his fullback. Can he get the cross in? It's blocked, and it's blocked really well, and they get the second ball, and that's the bit that we're not doing in our game. We're not winning those second balls well enough, but they make a mistake, and Rowlands picks it up again into Smith, and Smith gets it out from his feet and over the top, but only just. I think it was too square onto the goalkeeper for it to really trouble him, but it was a decent effort nonetheless. And that takes us through to half-time. 0-0 at half-time. Not too bad away from home. It's not been a great game, but I'm reasonably happy with how it's going so far. So I'll suggest to them I'm pleased with how it's going. Keep it up. There's no reason to change anybody at this point. So we'll go straight back out for the second half. In terms of the game stats, you can see that they've had more shots on target, on goal than we have. But we've had a little bit more possession. So we are in this game. If we can control the next sort of 20-25 minutes, hopefully we can maybe get something and nick something towards the end. Another real drab half of football though. What is it with these halves of football that just go by with no highlights whatsoever? We're at 70 minutes, and so I've decided to make a couple of substitutions, see if I can G them up a little bit. Sarmento on a 6.3. We're going to bring the youngster on, Win, for his debut, see whether he can help down that right hand side. Rogers with the yellow card, and not a brilliant rating. He can come off, and Evans will go on. And then we've got a nervous Basumbru, and I don't like that at all. So we're going to give another debut to Rickards, the other youngster up top, and see what these two young guys can do in the last sort of 15 minutes of the game. It's probably going to drift to nothing, to be honest, but here's a chance. All we need is a chance. Cross comes in, and there's a penalty kick. Brilliant. I think it was Win, that got taken down. Who's going to take the kick? It's Rickards, the youngster, on his debut. Oh, it's saved, and that's going to knock his confidence. Oh, that's such a shame. We did so well to win the penalty in the first place, and the youngster unfortunately fluffed his lines. Oh, dear. Corner kick for them. Far post. We get it partially cleared, but they're going to pick up the loose ball. Again with the 50-50 balls, they pick them up, and we don't. And then they had a really good close range shot, and the goalkeeper did really well to parry it. Fuller has been good today. One last attempt for them, maybe. And so we'll see how they get on with that. They go over the top, but we pick it out. And over the top we go. Smith on the run, right into the penalty box. Takes the early shot, and the goalkeeper stands up to it very nicely. And they almost cause themselves a problem on the line, but not quite. We have a defensive throw-in right down in our bottom corner of the pitch, and we have to go long to clear it, but there's nobody there, and they'll come back at us for a final attempt. And they've taken it down the right-hand side. Owens on the fullback trying to block it, and he does block it, and we win the second ball, and we boot it out and clear it and try and get to this final whistle with a 0-0 from the first leg away from home, which is really, really good if we can do it. One last cross in, and they don't read it well enough, and it goes all the way through to the left-hand side, cuts it back across, and we get it cleared. And there's the final whistle. It's a bit of a nothingy game, sort of. We had a few attempts. We've got a couple of our youngsters on the pitch, which is really good. Rickards, poor Rickards on his debut with that saved penalty miss, unfortunately. But the attempt was very good, so we will go with the assistant manager. We appreciate the efforts. And we'll come out and we will go into the next game with a bit of confidence. I hope that at home we can do something against this side. They're there for the takings, I think. We'll just have to wait and see. We've played one game in between the two Jerusalem matches in the Welsh Premier League, and that was against Cardiff Met Uni, which I had to play a rotated side in just to keep everybody fit. But we came out with a 1-0 win, so that's good enough for this particular occasion. In terms of the second game against Jerusalem, we've made a couple of changes to the lineup, primarily on the bench a little bit, but Harden comes in at right back is the main change in the actual team itself. So the team will be Fuller in goal, Harden at right back, Owens at left back, Bentner and Gardner in central defence, Rogers, Hazel, Smith in central midfield, Sarmento on the right, Rowlands on the left, Basumbru up top, with a bench of Hope, Nichols, Evans, Pritchard, Wynne, Fenlon and Rickards. So can we get through a tie in a European competition? Let's really, really hope so on this occasion. 0-0 after the first leg is all to play for, so let's get into this particular game and see what happens. I decided not to worry about a pre-match team talk. I just decided to let them go out with clear minds and see how they get on. They don't always work at the start of the game, I find, so I thought it was just a good occasion just to let them get on with it and see what happens. We're in our red kit, we're at home, so the home crowd support will be vital to us. See if we can get another good attendance. We've had a couple of really good attendances recently in the European competition, so let's hope we continue that. Dull. But corner kick comes in and we nearly get a goal. It was so dull. We're in the 43rd minute and we've had no highlights whatsoever until that moment, and we almost got a goal. Corner comes in and it clears everybody, and Jerusalem get to clear it, and that will probably take us through to half-time. It was so dreary. But we had that one chance and we didn't make the most of it. And will they make us pay for that later on in the game? So half-time, we are going to have to put a rocket up them a little bit assertively. Let's go with unlucky. That's a good middle ground place to be, I think. Tell them that we think they were unlucky. And send them back out again and hope for better in this second half. It's such an important game. You can see that we've had a few shots at goal. We've had a reasonable amount of possession, but not as much as we sometimes have. But there's been no clear-cut opportunities, and we really, really need to make the most of this opportunity now to see if we can get through this particular tie. Jerusalem down the left-hand side, but Sarmento takes it away from them and then gives it away straight away. Those long sweeping balls, which is not part of the way that we're set up to play, are really causing us problems still, and I don't really know how to solve it too much, if I'm honest, because we're on short passing, and they get it into the box, and a good save by Fenlon. Not Fenlon, who am I talking about? Fuller. For goodness sake, my scrambled mind can't cope with these European ties anymore. Oh dear. Corner comes in for Jerusalem. It's right into the centre point of the 6-yard box. Half cleared the first time, fully cleared the second time with Sarmento. Gets to run at the defence of Jerusalem. Can he get past his man? He tries to poke it through to Busumbru, but one, Busumbru didn't read the pass, and two, the defender did. And it's time for a substitution or two. We've got to try and find a way to change this. Lots of low ratings, which I'm not happy about. Sarmento comes off, Wynn goes on, Smith comes out, Pritchard goes on, and we're going to take Rowlands out and put Fenlon on. All in the attacking third. See if we can get something special from one of these subs with fresh legs. Time's ticking by, 86 minutes, and there's still no highlights. We're still not making the opportunities count. I probably should have gone attacking, but I didn't want to open ourselves too much at the back and cause us a problem. It's all still too tense and tight. But here they come one last time down the left-hand side. Good pass centrally, and they've put it in the corner, and they're going to win the game at the last. And again, oh no. Again, we're going to lose out right in the dying seconds of a game. It was a good break. We'd put so many people forward for a decent opportunity for us, and it didn't pay off. And in the end, they passed it through us, and Ezra, right one-on-one with the goalkeeper, right in the last dying seconds of the game, has won it for them. And Jerusalem have another throw-in down the left-hand side, take it centrally. They're going to keep the ball, surely. They're just going to move it around and make us chase shadows. That's what I would do if I was in the centre of midfield for them. And they are. They send it back, but then they go long and we get to cut it out. Can we have one last attempt? Win on the ball, the youngster. Is he going to run at his fullback? He's going to try. He's got far enough to get the cross in. Fenlon on the shot, and it's a brilliant goal by Fenlon right in the 92nd minute when we were dead and buried. A brilliant run from Wynn down that right-hand side. The youngster's going to make a big name for himself if he keeps doing that. It was a fabulous cross-pass ball, and it finds Fenlon coming in on the volley on that left foot and right into that far corner, and we go 1-1 just in the dying seconds, and it's not going to be enough. I've just realised that we're going to go out on away goals rule. Oh dear. It's so frustrating. This game is so frustrating. I don't want to play anymore. Let them know that we appreciate their efforts. And I do. I really, really do. Oh, this has broken me. Completely broken me. There we go. Connor's Key Nomads. The European Odyssey is over for this season. I don't think they've invented a fourth competition for us to try and get into. It's been fair enough that we've managed to have 3 attempts in 3 competitions through this period of time, but we haven't managed to take any of them at the end of the day. And I got so caught up in the emotion of scoring a goal, I forgot that they'd got an away goal. And we go out on away goals. It's so painful. Anyway, thanks very much for joining me for this particular episode. Another really heart-wrenching one. We tried. We really, really tried. But that's the European stuff done. Next episode, we'll come back in and we'll concentrate on the league. I'll let you know about everything that's happened in the transfer window. So I hope you join me for that. Hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click the like button if you like this video. Helps me get seen by more people, which is really, really great for the growth of the channel. Have a great time playing Football Manager yourself. It's plummin' annoying at times. Take care of yourselves. I will see you soon, and bye for now.